Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Our service begins on page 674 using the page numbers in the brackets, the second set of page numbers, as we begin with the words of Psalm 137, by the waters, by the rivers of Babylon. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, remember thee, Zion.
By the waters of Babylon.
By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, Zion. By the waters of Babylon, we lay down and wept for thee, Zion. We remember thee, Zion. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills. I'm Rabbi Mark Kaiserman, along with Cantor Emily Wygod-Pincus. We're delighted to celebrate Shabbat together here in our sanctuary and anyone joining us on our live stream. Shabbat is always a time of remembrance. We remember our family and friends. We recognize each other as we join together in community. But tonight, we turn a special memory we acknowledge Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, remembering the 6 million killed, remembering all the millions killed under the tragedy and despotism of the Nazis. But as we remember, we don't just think backwards, we look ahead. For just remembering Judaism is only history, and we are a living, breathing community. And that's why it's so meaningful and wonderful that this Shabbat we celebrate Tyler Bogard's bar mitzvah as he moves forward into his Jewish life and celebrates his very large family that joins us here tonight and all of his connections to community and the world. We look forward, not just backwards. For both we learn lessons together. And so as we begin our Shabbat and Yom HaShoah remembrance services, we begin by lighting our Holocaust memorial candle here in our sanctuary. And to do so, we recognize that Tyler, for his mitzvah project, did a very special thing relating to the Holocaust. And you can read all about it on his mitzvah poster in the lobby, and I hope you will take a chance to read about the work he did, as he comes from a family of survivors of memory. And so we invite to light our Holocaust candle Tyler, his mom Roseanne Bogard, and his grandmother Elizabeth Grodmatsky. Page 675. We read together in the middle of page 675. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling a flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the secret fastness of the heart. Blessed is the heart with the strength to stop its beating for honor's sake. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. We turn to our Shabbat candles, and we invite Tyler along with his sister Olivia and his parents Josh and Roseanne.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue with the Kiddush on page 123. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki yom techila mikrai kodesh zechir tziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat koshercha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat l'chaim.
L'chaim. Take an opportunity to wish Shabbat Shalom to those around us. Please be seated. This next reading is not in your prayer books. It was written by a young woman named Franta Bass during the Holocaust. I am a Jew and we a Jew forever. Even if I should die from hunger, never will I submit. I will always fight for my people on my honor. I will never be ashamed of them, I give my word. I am proud of my people, how dignified they are. Even though I am suppressed, I will always come back to life. We welcome in Shabbat with Lekah Dodi on page 138. We join in verses 1 and 2, and then we'll rise for verse 9. Likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabela Lekah Dodi likrat kala
Penei Shabbat
Please rise.
Boi
V'shalom, ateret balav, gam b'simcha uv'sohola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat chala, penei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat chala, penei Shabbat nekabela. We remain standing as we turn to page 146.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach
Leolam
va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed.
These words were found written on a wall in a cave in Cologne where Jews were hiding during the Holocaust. I believe in the sun, even though it is late in rising. I believe in love, even though it is absent. I believe in God, though he is silent. Ahavat Olam, page 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta, Otanu lemadeta. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu uv'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Please be seated. We invite back up to the bima our bar mitzvah, Tyler, to lead us in the V'ahavta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושתנתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולפתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לו תותפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על ממוזג ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, ואתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, amen.
Thank you.
We turn to our prayer sheet handouts with the words written during the Holocaust by Reverend Martin Niemöller. These words are sadly still all too true today. We read together. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. As we sing Mi Chamocha, we recognize that miracles are created by us. We don't wait around for God to bring them. We bring the change we need in the world. Mi Chamocha, page 158.
Adonai Yaakov, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 160.
השכיבנו אדוני שלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו ביצה טובה מלפניך ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני הפוריש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
As we turn to the Tefillah section of our service, we note that in the second full prayer, the Givurot, the second line of that prayer has changed. It is now considered summertime as opposed to the wintertime prayer we had been doing through Passover. We continue on page 164 using the even-numbered pages only. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagimor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'kolei Hakol, Ve'zocher Hasdei Avot ve'Imot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, עזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשלי עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיע ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני,
We read together, "You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh." Please be seated. We continue in the middle of our prayer sheets. How can we give thanks when we remember Treblinka? Only silence speaks loudly enough for our millions who are marched into the abyss. We have been where we did not find you, O hidden one. Yet even there our people sang, I believe in redemption, Anima Amin. And they sang again, Zog nit kein malaz du getst dem letzten Weg. Never say you walk the final road. And even then this deathless people was renewing itself, its life. Whose faith is equal to this people's? Whose will to live? The storm ends. In the sky a rainbow signals hope and new life. Again and yet again, there is a song to sing. Page 179. On the bottom of the page, the words of the poet Yehuda Amichai. We read together. Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first. Shalom Rav on the facing page.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ha'shalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ha'shalom. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובראשה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
We continue with our own private prayers.
So this is on the other side of your prayer sheets. Soll schon kommen die Geule. When you are dejected, make a toast. When sorrow doesn't let you rest, sing me a song. And if there is no whiskey, let's drink water. Fresh water is life itself. What else does a Jew need? Ongesäuligt auf in Herzen macht man alle Chaim. Ob der mit Lust nicht ruhen, singen wir ein Lied. Ist nicht auch kein bisschen Brunfen, lass mir trinken Maim. Maim Chaim ist doch Chaim, was darf noch der Jid? Oh, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, Mashiach kommt schon bald, oh, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, Mashiach kommt schon bald. Es ist ein Dorf von Kulechayev, seid nicht kein Aronim, und von Sündigen Mashiach dicher kommen wird. Ach du Tatel in Himmel, es beten bnei Rochmonim. Sie als Mashiach soll nicht kommen, a bissel zu spät. Oi, 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 soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, Mashiach kommt schon bald, oh, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, Mashiach kommt schon bald. Es tanzen Bäume in die Wälder, Sterne auf den Himmel. Rabbis Roel, der Mechuten dreht sich in der Mitte. Es wird sich häufig in Mashiach von seinem tiefen Drimmel, wenn wird der Herrn unser Zwille dicke Lied. Oi, 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 soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, Mashiach kommt schon bald, oi, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, soll schon kommen die Geule, Mashiach kommt schon bald.
We continue now with our Torah service, beginning on page 362. We invite Bruce Grossberg to join us on the Bima. Please rise.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael bikedushato, Shema Yisrael ונרום במה שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח והאור. יקום בשמיים וואי, יקום בשמיים וואי.
Please be seated. Torah portion for this Shabbat is Shemini, which has a number of varied stories, but we're going to look at the end of the portion where it gives us some of the laws of keeping kosher. And sharing in that reading, giving us a little taste of what he's going to do tomorrow, we invite up Tyler Bogard. And for our Aliyah, we invite up Audrey Frankel. The Torah portion can be found not in your prayer books, but in the large Torah commentaries under the seats in front of you on page 712.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai El Moshe ve'el Aharon lemor alehem Daberu el bnei Yisrael lemor zot hahaya asher tochelu mikol habehema asher al haaretz kol mafreset parsa vishosa shesa parasot ma'alat gera babehema ota tochelu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
With our Torah in front of us, we offer some special blessings of healing and hope for those who are sick or in pain. We begin by recognizing that it was just over a year and a half ago when we had the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust on October 7th. And we still reverberate with the pain and loss that brought to us. We think especially of the hostages who are still remaining in captivity, having spent 2 Pesachs now as we celebrate freedom and they are unable to find theirs. And so we join together in a blessing for the freedom of the hostages. It can be found on the bottom of the backside of your prayer sheets. We read together. May God bless the hostages and all those missing and unaccounted for, citizens, soldiers, men, women, and children who are imprisoned and in grave danger. May it be your will, God of all, that they be released speedily and return to their families and to their homes, safe and sound in body and spirit. Plant the power of hope in the hearts of their loved ones, frantic and yearning for their release. Bring wisdom to the hearts of those laboring for their release, and compassion to the hearts of their captors. May God grant mercy upon them and save them from trouble to well-being, from darkness to light, from enslavement to redemption. May it be swift and soon, and let us say, Amen. Amen. Closer to home, we think of those in our own family and friends who are sick or ill. But we add to those names all around the world that need our blessings of healing. The people of Israel, the innocent people of Palestine, the people of Ukraine, people everywhere facing violence and destruction who need healing and hope. As we think of our own family and friends, we especially think of in our temple community of Queen Ariel Attias, Debbie Ball, Larry Bloom, Lawrence Brown, Jack Freeman, Arnold Gilbert, Barbara Gilbert, Arlene Green, Jody Ann Herman, Laura Kowalski, Brenda Levinson, Don Levy, Scott Scheidlauer, Roberta Traeger, Rochelle Weinberg, Renee Weisbaum, Joel Pikus, Carol Hofer, Edie Weiner, Migdalia Feliciano, Fran Herman. As you might be thinking of someone for healing, we invite you to share their name out loud here in the sanctuary or add it to the chat on the live stream. For all those we hold in our hearts for healing, we join together in a prayer of healing. It can be found on the bottom of your prayer sheets just below the reading we did. We lift and dress the Torah. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי לי יאי לי יאי לי יאי
We return the Torah to the Ark with the words on page 374. We invite Celia Cooper-Smith-Lerman to join us on the bima.
Eitz chaim hi lamachzikim ba vetomcheha merushar deracheha dorchilom vechol netivoteha. Shalom, shalom, hashivenu Adonai elecha v'lashuva, Kadesh Yameinu kekedesh.
On the first night of Passover, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's state home was a victim of arson. Governor Shapiro reflected on the devastation in a recent article. As I walked through the doorway, my nose burned from the smell of smoke. It was eerily quiet, but I could hear water dripping from the ceiling. My feet sloshed on the soaked floor. The beautiful state dining room, where my family and I had just celebrated our Passover Seder with family and community, was completely destroyed. The Haggadah, our prayer book for the Seder, was burned so badly only a few short lines of text were recognizable. After making these remarks the next afternoon, he gathered with his family for the second night Seder. In the face of tragedy and hate, we still live our proud Jewish lives. The arsonist had a complicated background, but cited Shapiro's support of Israel for the attack. The arsonist saying, Shapiro needs to know that he will not take part in his plans for what he wants to do to the Palestinian people, and our people have been put through too much by that monster, meaning Shapiro. In a world where Jews can rise to the highest offices in a state, we are still victims of anti-Semitism and hatred. We have been through too much by monsters. Tonight we will hear from Temple teen and leader Alyssa Lazarus. While so many try to bury the past, Jews keep learning from our history. It is imperative that we have commemorations such as Yom HaShoah. The past is not just history, it is the present. It is still right now. Having a young adult share their reflections give us the strength to keep fighting for the Jewish people, for those we've lost, and for a better tomorrow. We are honored to invite Alyssa to the bima.
Hi everyone, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Alyssa Lazarus. For the past few years, my camp, Pointel, has sent the oldest age group of campers to Israel for 3 weeks. But because of the conflict in Israel, they decided to switch the trip to Eastern Europe. The trip is centered around Judaism and the history of Jews in Europe. So 2 of the most significant places that I went to as a Jewish teenager were Theresienstadt concentration camp and Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration and death camp. Terezin was the first camp we visited, which is incredibly different from other concentration camps. Terezin wasn't just a concentration camp, but it was a whole town, and within the town was the concentration camp. As we walked through the camp, I couldn't help feel uncomfortable and awkward. I didn't know what to do or how to act. Going into this trip, I learned about different concentration camps from movies, books, and teachers, but none of those sources can compare to what it's like to be standing in a place like that. While going through Terezin, I learned about famous prisoners like Gavrilo Princip, the assassin of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who was held in Terezin concentration camp and hospital. We walked into the bunkers where people sat, completely untouched from 80 years ago. As we left Terezin, we were asked to take a photo in front of a big Jewish star, and it was a weird feeling to be taking a picture in a place like that. A week later, we were in Poland and on the bus going to Auschwitz. As we neared the concentration camp, I kept looking out the window to see if what I had pictured it to look like was actually how it looked. I imagined Auschwitz to look like a bunch of run-down and destroyed buildings. I never thought that Auschwitz would look exactly like every other building in the area. In that moment, it really hit me that the Holocaust was only 80 years ago, so why should any of the buildings there be looking ancient? As we got off the bus and walked into the Welcome Center, we were given headsets to wear so that we could listen to the guide. Then we entered Auschwitz. Walking into the concentration camp, we went under the infamous Arbeit macht frei sign, translating to work sets you free. Auschwitz was turned into a memorial and museum, while Birkenau stayed precisely the same. Each building in Auschwitz had a different item that belonged to people being shown in it. The first room we walked into was filled with glasses. Then we saw a room of tefillin. The next room had prosthetic pieces, followed by a room with pan and pots, color-coded for either milk or meat, sorry. There was one room we weren't allowed to take any photos in, the one filled with hair. I couldn't believe the amount of hair piled up in that room. It was truly appalling. Then we entered a room filled with shoes, more shoes, and even more shoes. The last two item rooms we went into were filled with suitcases and clothes of both adults and children. I couldn't help but have tears streaming down my face in each room. I remember the trip guides telling us that everyone has different reactions and that there isn't a right way to react to the situation. Some people cry while others just observe what they're witnessing. One of the most important rooms that we went into was the one with the names of all who perished in Auschwitz-Birkenau. Before going on the trip, I asked my family if they had names they wanted me to look up, so when I was there, I searched for them. Finding my family members' names through the paper was like looking for a needle in a haystack. I didn't realize how much 6 million is until I tried to find the letter J, and it took me 15 minutes to find one name. I could have spent hours looking for a family member's name in that room. After we left Auschwitz, we took a 15-minute drive to Birkenau, a drive that prisoners 80 years ago would have had to walk. Because we had a tour guide, we were able to go into the watchtower to look over the entire camp and see gas chamber after gas chamber. All the chambers were destroyed at the end of World War II, but you could see the remains of the buildings. At the end of our time at Birkenau, we had a mini service and I was asked to say the mourner's Kaddish. This was especially important to me because of how much it meant to be proud of being Jewish in a place where Jews were persecuted 80 years ago. As every generation passes, the number of Holocaust survivors decreases, which is why it's so vital that I went on a trip like this and was able to speak about it. Being a Jewish teenager, I have a responsibility to teach people about the Holocaust so that history is not repeated. The opportunity that I had this summer to visit places where such atrocities were committed is so important because it gives me a platform to speak from first-hand experiences and not just learning through a book. I know that not everyone's ideal vacation is going and visiting concentration camps, but I think that it's something that everyone should see at least once in their lifetime to feel what it's like. The somber feeling what you get walking through the camp and wondering who took the same steps as I did 80 years ago is not something you get from a book or a family story. Although my trip was filled with sadness when visiting these places, I also learned about Jewish life and European culture. The most important thing that I took away from this trip was to be grateful for my life and the perseverance of those who survived the Holocaust and went on to fight for Jewish freedom. I cherish the opportunity I had last summer and will use it to teach others about what happened so that it will never happen again. Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Knowing we have generations of Jews now, all these years after the Holocaust, who still remember and value our past and who make the Judaism part of their life now, is what gives us hope to know the Jewish people survive and thrive. Part of our knowing that we thrive and survive is knowing that good things are still happening in our lives. So we take a few moments to share simchas, good things that have happened to you or your family in recent days or in days up ahead. As I come around the room, just raise your hand, and as I give you the mic, please share your name and what good thing is happening in your life.
My name is Marcia, and my daughter Maya is now at Hunter College's Hillel, and she ran she helped the students run a program where they listened to a Holocaust survivor this week, and I was able to watch via Zoom.
Hi, my name is Ronan, and I just finished the ELA state tests.
Hi, my name is Jean, and I finished my first year of the state test.
Hi, my name is Zoe, and I can write a book about how I survived the state test.
My name is Nathaniel, and I have 2 soccer games, one on Saturday and one on Sunday.
Hi, my name is Scott, and my youngest nephew just successfully defended his PhD thesis at Tufts, so next year we'll have a doctor in the family.
Hi, my name is Bertie, and I'd like to say Yom Huledet Sameach to our wonderful Rabbi Mark.
My name is Sage, and my dad just made it here.
Hi, I'm Ari, and I'm just very proud of my daughter.
My name's Olivia, and my brother's bar mitzvah's tomorrow.
Hi, my name is Nomi, and my son Akiva just finished his first year of college.
My name's Aspen, and I have a baby.
We keep holding on to the blessings in our life. We can't only live in the sadness. We have to live towards the light and all the beauty that we can bring into this world. We move now to the concluding blessings of our service, beginning on page 586 with the Aleinu. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, מקור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. In a few moments, we're going to share our mourner's Kaddish, our prayer for all of those who have died, but as we especially think of our own family, of yard sites at this time, or those who have died in recent days. But as we commemorate and remember Yom HaShoah, we need to also take prayers specifically for the 6 million, for those who died during the Holocaust, nameless or named, but we remember still, and for those survivors who passed since with the pain of the Holocaust in their hearts. We invite you, before we share the El Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer, if there's someone you know from the Holocaust or survivors who have passed away, and you want to bring their name into this room, to share their name or share a whole family's name or share whatever you know about that person, my mother's parents, my cousin's side of the family, if that's all you know, as we bring their names into our community, as we remember, never forget, never again. Please share the names of anybody who perished during the Holocaust or survivors you wish to remember. The Unger family. We share in our memorial prayer. It's not in your prayer books, so listen with your open heart. Please rise.
El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, תחת כנפי השכינה, עם קדושים וטהורים כזוכר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמות אחינו בני ישראל הקדושים וטהורים שנפלו בידי ערוציהם ונשפך דמם שורביץ מדלק תרבליקנה ובשאר מחנות השמד באירופה שנהרגו, שנחרו, שנפרצו, שנטבעו ונחנקו על קידוש השם. בעבור שכל
וכל הקהל הקדוש הזה מתפללים בעד הזכרת נשמותם. בגן עדן תהא מנוחתם, לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו על משכבותם בשלום, ונאמר Amen.
Fully compassionate God on high, to our 6 million brothers and sisters murdered because they were Jews, grant clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and pure, whose brightness shines like the very glow of heaven. Source of mercy, forever enfold them in the embrace of your wings, secure their souls in eternity. Adonai, they are yours. They will rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. In our own family and friends, we remember those who have yard sites occur during this week or have passed in recent days. In our own temple community, we remember the yard sites of Emily Ansbacher Marks, Sarah Aronoff, Abraham Besserman, Hannah Biggis, Bessie Brown, Zorach Burns, Gertrude Cantor, Irving Carroll, Philip Daintree, Jacob Deichman, Samuel Finkelhar, Aaron Foyer, Fanita Frankel, Greta Frankenberg, Leonard T. Gellers, Benjamin Glass, Minnie Glickman, Jack Gold, Beatrice Goldenberg, Edward Goldenberg, Samuel Gould, Theodore Green, Theodore Grossberg, Fanny Goldman Halperin, Rose Hirschleifer, Mariam Horowitz, Danielle Horowitz, Paul Joseph, Louis Kalowski, Jack Katz, Emma Kempler, Annie Klein, Sonia Klein, Leon Cooper Smid, Joseph Levitt, Saul Leibel, Florence Liebman, Milton Pasternak, Lieutenant Joseph Pearl, Joseph Pokart, Jack Posner, Richard Reinhardt, Rose Rosenbaum, Jack Rosenblatt, Betty Rose Rubin, Joseph Schindler, Herman Solomon, Fanny Stapleman, Fred Stern, Herman Storch, Jules Strauss, Lee Taubin, Samuel Turritz, Gershon Turner, Irving Weislitz, Lee Wilson, Max Zuckerman. We note in sadness the recent passing of Myron Mike Ulberg, cousin of Roberta Traeger, and the passings in recent weeks of Elaine Wall, mother of Dorothy Wall and Yael Ellis, Keith Gilman, husband of temple educator Faye Gilman, father of Danielle and Craig, Emmanuel Chi, uncle of Gina Drangle. If you are observing a yard site or a recent loss or have a name on your mind, we invite you to share that name aloud here in the sanctuary or add it to the chat on the live stream. For all those we hold in our hearts today and every day, we join together in our mourner's Kaddish for those named and for those names we don't know but are still in our hearts. The mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra karutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'galav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarak le'olam omei amaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbekata v'nekamata, damiran be'ama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to every broken heart. And let us say, amen. Amen. Please be seated. Words of welcome to our congregation, Temple President Seth Diamond.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi and Cantor, for leading us in this emotional and meaningful service for Yom HaShoah. Thank you to Nitzan, Bonnie, and Mark for the music that even as we mourn lifts our spirits, and to Andy and Juan for all the invaluable support behind the scenes. Special thank you to Alyssa Lazarus for your moving and beautiful reflection on your trip to Eastern Europe and your powerful words about visiting Terezin and Auschwitz. Your commitment to continuing to learn from the Holocaust and the presence of your family supporting you in that journey reminds us all that in each generation we must confront the Holocaust horrors and dedicate ourselves to ensuring such evil never happens again. Mazel tov to the Bogard family on Tyler's bar mitzvah. We know it will be a wonderful occasion, and we look forward to celebrating tomorrow. Thank you to Josh and Roseanne for sponsoring tonight's oneg in honor of that special occasion. And thank you to Audrey, Fred, Josh, and David Pagan for also sponsoring the oneg in honor of another special occasion, Rabbi Kaiserman's birthday. Happy birthday, Rabbi, from all of us. I know you don't like the attention on that, but this Sunday we invite you to close out your weekend with our Torah and Song concert, a beautiful night of music featuring our cantor, our choirs, our rabbi, Henry and Gina Drangle, and Virginia Weiner. Also, next Sunday, May 4th, is your final opportunity to add your letter to our Joyful Torah Writing Project. If you haven't signed up yet, now is the time. Next Friday, our Shabbat Rishon will include a wonderful celebration of Yom Ha'atzmaut, Israel Independence Day, featuring our Temple Tots, kindergartners, and first graders with a community dinner to follow. You'll find full details on all these events and much more in the e-blast and on our website. Finally, on this Yom HaShoah, I found hope in the story of a 130-year-old violin. The violin was owned by a Polish musician who was murdered during the Holocaust. Brought to Israel by a survivor of the Holocaust, the violin was restored and preserved by Chachi Beck. In March of this year, Beck presented the violin to Agam Berger, who was taken hostage on October 7th and survived 482 days in captivity. Last week, Berger brought the violin back to Poland, and not just to anywhere in Poland, but to Auschwitz, where she played it yesterday as part of the March of the Living closing ceremonies. A Polish violin silenced by genocide, an Israeli woman silenced by captivity, and yet together they returned, one in hand, the other in spirit, to fill the air with music once more. As the violin restorer Beck said, "When I heard the violin playing again, I felt like its original owner, the orchestra musician, was coming back to life." That is the strength of our people. That is the legacy of memory. And that is the power of faith, resilience, and hope. Shabbat Shalom.
We invite Tyler back up onto the bima along with Liv Kingsley for a special presentation from Toffee, our youth group.
Shabbat Shalom, Tyler, and Mazel Tov on becoming a bar mitzvah this weekend. I am Liv Kingsley, the Vice President of Membership and Communications at Toffee, and from Toffee, we wanted to give you this present of toffee because we like a good pun. We hope to see you at youth group next year, and good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
As we get ready for our own egg and a chance to share and connect with each other, we invite Tyler for his last time that we can say this, and anybody else who's not quite yet bar or bat mitzvah to join us up front for the motzi. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, v'motzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon.
Te'avon, bon appetit. And while they're figuring out what to do with that challah, we will conclude with Yesh Kochavim, there are stars, which is on page 675 in your Sidurim. And these beautiful words were written by Hannah Senish, who was herself a martyr of the Holocaust, and yet managed to give us this beautiful poem that gives us so much strength and meaning in our lives. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. Yesh kochavim sheoram magia arza, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו בינם. יש אנשים שזי זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכנו. אורות אלה המדליקים בחשכת הליל, הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.